Welcome to Find Your Story Live, a special show in honor of the prestigious 2024 National Medal for Museum and Library Service Awards. I'm Katie.
And I'm Diego. You're looking good.
Thank you, so are you. And we are thrilled to be here today, celebrating excellence in libraries across the nation.
Absolutely, Katie. The National Medal is a huge honor recognizing museums and libraries that go above and beyond for their communities. And listen to this. Since 1994, hundreds of institutions have been recognized for their innovative approaches.
Yes, they have been, and DC Public Library is being added to that list today, with 5 other incredible libraries receiving the award. A big congratulations to our fellow winners. The Copper Queen Library in Bisbee, Arizona, Griswold Memorial Library in Coleraine, Massachusetts, Harris County Public Library in Houston, Texas, and last but not least, the Kent District Library in Comstock Park, Michigan.
Felicitaciones a todos, and we are honored to be among such esteemed company. Katie, the DC Public Library is a true hub of our activity in our nation's capital.
Yes, we are. With 26 library locations, including the stunningly modernized Martin Luther King Jr. Memorial Library right here in downtown DC, DC Public Library fosters a love of reading, learning, and community discussion.
We also empower people of all ages to be lifelong learners, embrace diversity, and contribute to a thriving city. We are incredibly proud to be recognized as a force in the community, sparking curiosity, expanding opportunities, and enriching lives.
That's right, so stay tuned as we hear from some amazing folks at DC Public Library who will be sharing how their work has fostered this incredible community and led to this monumental occasion. We'll be right back.
Connections.
Welcome back to Find Your Story Live. We're so excited to have Joy Max, the Chief of Staff for DC Public Library, here with us today.
Welcome,
Joy.
I'm so glad to be here. So great to see you guys. This is an exciting day.
Yes, it is. Now that I have you here, I can finally ask, can you tell us a little bit about the role of libraries in your life and how it has impacted your life?
Oh, wow. I don't remember a time not going to the library. My mother was an educator, an early childhood one. So we went every Saturday, and I would go, say, maybe when I was 11 or 12 years old. I remember one time going on a Saturday morning and getting my Nancy Drew book because I love Nancy Drew.
Yeah.
Hardy Boys, they were okay, but Nancy Drew
Not
was
the
the
same.
one. I would sit on the floor, legs crossed, reading my book. It was so exciting. I got lost in the book, and that was my favorite memory, and I've been sort of doing libraries ever since.
What a great story. Do you remember the name of your library?
Oh, wow. It was the Inkster Public Library, actually, in Detroit, Michigan.
Oh, that's so special.
Yes,
Thank you for sharing. So libraries have been a part of your life as long as you can remember. And now that you're here as Chief of Staff for DC Public Library, what does having this incredible recognition mean to you? And what does it mean for all of DC Public Library staff?
Oh, wow. It means so much. It really is an indication of how great the staff have been at DC Public Library. Everything from the facility staff who maintains our buildings to the capital construction team that designs them and builds them, to our collections department that selects the books, to the communications departments that spreads the word. It affects so many staff, and so many people have done so much to elevate the library system and to be basically one of the best in the country.
Absolutely. And we can't forget our amazing staff who are in our branches every single day, greeting people, hosting programs. It is incredibly special. And is there any other message you'd like to share with them if any staff might be watching right now?
Absolutely. Just one. Thank you. Thank you for all that you do every day to serve district residents. You give them what they seek. You sometimes give them what they don't seek. They discover who they are by using the library, and that's all because of you.
Thank you
And
so
thank
much.
you.
Thank you.
We really appreciate you having you here today. And congratulations again on this incredible, incredible accomplishment.
Thank you guys so much.
We will be right back. Welcome back to Find Your Story Live. Joining us now is Tony Williams, Chair of the Board of Trustees for the DC Public Library. Hi, Tony.
Bienvenido.
Well, thank you. What a welcome. And it's really just a pleasure to be here thank you guys for having me and for looking forward to the conversation today.
Absolutely.
We're so glad to have you here. And first of all, congratulations on this incredible award.
Oh my God, how amazing, right? What an honor for the public library system and for DC, for the city as a whole.
Yeah, tell us a little bit more about that. So, as the chair of the Board of Trustees, what does DC Public Library getting this national accolade mean for all of us here in the DC community?
I think it's a recognition of the tremendous investment that the city has put into its library system and the tremendous importance that DC public libraries, have to every single neighborhood and community here in DC.
And before we move on to, teens and adults, you have a special connection to the Tacoma Park Library.
Oh, so dear to my heart. So the Tacoma Park Library, it's where I learned to read. It is the library that I grew up with. It's actually the library that gave me my first job, sorting and organizing books. So I don't, encourage anyone to go get into the basement of the Tacoma Park Library, but you know what? It's deep, has deep meaning to me, and it is a symbol actually of how important libraries are to communities. Because when I think about where I have come to in my career and in my place, the libraries played a central part of that role, and especially the Tacoma Park Library.
That's so special. Oh, thank you for sharing that with us. So we're talking a little bit about you kind of growing up in the library, but you also have little ones. What's their experience with the library?
August and Margot. So August is 20 months, Margot's 3 years. So we're talking about toddlers and babies here. And yet every week they're in the library. They're visiting the library, they're participating. Story time, phenomenal, right? And I think you'll hear that from every parent and of every child here in the city. That ability to have a place where you're bringing your kid and they're getting exposed to literacy and language and stories and ideas, it's incredible. And so that is just so tremendously meaningful and important.
Are you coming every Saturday to Storytime?
Every Saturday, and depending on whether you're at Petworth or Shaw, you can do Tuesdays or Wednesdays too. So yes.
Shout out to those libraries. So, we talked about kids. What about teens and adults? What does the library offer to them?
So when you talk about teens and adults, you're really talking about that third space, right? That place that's not home, that's not school, that really gives them a place where they can be themselves and they can continue to explore. And the library is that place. And so, we offer study rooms and we offer, a place just where they can gather and exchange ideas. But we also, offer all the programming that is focused on that teen tween audience as well. And that's everything from tutoring, but also educational programming, also programming about the communities that they exist. So that is just really rich part of who DCPL is, and it's really a tremendous resource, I think, for our teens.
Absolutely.
Oh, that's really interesting. And, as a grown-up who takes his kids to the library, what does DC Public Library have that inspires or excites you?
I mean, when you think about what inspires and excites me, I immediately start to think about the programming that DCPL offers.
Yeah.
And, let's start with the big ones, right? So you go back and you think just this last year, we had the Emmett Till exhibition. We had Leonardo da Vinci, right? For the first time, they bring his papers to America. And where do they bring them? They bring them here to DCPL. So incredible. And then you build on top of that and you start to talk about just the events, the programming, the concerts that we have, whether it's the Go-Go concert or the upcoming punk concert, August 17th for everyone listening. Encourage you all to come to MLK and attend here on the rooftop.
I know you're following us on social media, Tony. So.
They hold my feet to the fire as chairman of the board here, and I try to do a decent job.
Oh, I love that. So before we let you go, is there anything else you'd like to share about what this symbolizes for DC as the nation's capital?
To me, what this award really symbolizes is the tremendous journey that we have been on as a country in terms of investing and rehabilitating our metropolitan and city centers. So DC in particular, the growth that we have had in becoming a world-class city, the investment that our leaders have had, you start with Mayor Williams, and that has continued through Mayor Bowser, and that investment, DCPL is part of that and part of that story and that journey. And this is a representation both of the growth of DCPL, but also as DC as a whole.
Oh, thank you so much. We really appreciate you coming on today to share a little bit of your insights about the library and your experiences here in DC. And congratulations again.
Congratulations, and libraries are amazing.
Libraries are amazing.
DC has a devoted library community whose support has been critical to our success. The Friends of the DC Public Library play a huge role engaging with their neighborhoods. Now, let's send it over to Jordan, who's actually at the Tacoma Park Library, to chat with members of the Friends of the DC Public Library. Over to you, Jordan.
Thank you, Katie. We are here at Tacoma Park Library, where I will be chatting with Robert Oliver, the president of the Federation of Friends at the DC Public Library. Today, Robert is going to discuss the importance the Friends group plays in the library system. Robert, thank you so much for joining the show.
Thank you. It's a great honor to be a president of the Federation of Friends of the Library. We're a very important group, and I'm open to any questions that you have for me.
Absolutely. So with that being said, the first question I have is, tell us a little bit about how the Friends group comes together to support the library.
The Friends group was founded in 1990. The Federation of Friends of the District of Columbia Public Library basically is a membership organization that supports the various community groups that support their branches in their neighborhoods. The Friends also provide assistance to these groups in terms of monetary and other ways moving forward with
Right.
Okay.
I noticed you said the organization was founded in 1990, correct?
Yes.
When did you join, and what year were you appointed the president role?
2017.
2017. Okay.
Yes, and I came after Lillian J. Huff, who is the namesake of the building at Lamont Riggs.
Absolutely. Okay, that's great to hear. So with that said, in today's times, how else does the Friends group contribute to the library?
The Friends group contributes greatly to the library. As I said, we do contribute financially. We make sure that each branch Friends group or each branch management group has sufficient funds to buy those supplies that they need to ensure that programming is done. We ensure that folks are aware of all the resources and services that the library provides.
You mentioned equity in programming. Do you think you can target a little bit more of what that entails?
Well, we're boots on the ground. We take the community pulse. Some folks want to do movies. Some folks want to do retrospectives. And so what we try to do is to give each community what it wants. And the whole goal is to bring more people into the libraries and get them involved in doing something that is helpful for them and things where they can have fun in giving back to the community.
Absolutely. So it sounds like the Friends group clearly plays a crucial role in the library system. Robert, thank you so much for joining this show.
Thank you.
We are back at Tacoma Park Library, where I will be chatting with another member of the Friends group at Mount Pleasant Library, who has shown his community that libraries aren't just a place to be quiet, they're a place to get loud. Carlos Isurieta, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me, Jordan.
Absolutely. So, Carlos, tell us, what inspired you to join the Friends group, and what is your favorite part about it? Aside from you guys' t-shirts being one of the most popular across DC as well as the country. Tell us more.
Thank you so much. So it started when I was a little kid. I used to, in elementary school, I would skip recess sometimes and run to the library. We had a library in school, and I'd spend a lot of time reading books about football players, musicians. So I did spend a lot of time just growing up in libraries, college as well. And then when I moved to Mount Pleasant, I happened to stop by a book sale that they had. And someone was like, hey, if you ever think about volunteering with us, and I did, and they're like, what are you doing the next day? And so I ended up going in, and then they recruited me to be a treasurer. They saw that I had some responsible qualities, so then they're like, okay, you can be treasurer.
Exactly. Wow. So
Yeah.
what year did you join the Friends group, if you recall?
Oh goodness, I would say 2016.
2016.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's been a while. It's been a minute.
It's been a minute.
Yeah.
It's been a minute. Okay, so tell us about the shirts. We got to get to the shirts.
Oh,
Whose
yeah,
idea
for
was
sure.
it? Where did it come about? Tell us all of it.
So it started with Chelsea Kirkland, who's I think she's currently the digital outreach coordinator for DC Public Library.
Okay.
So it started with her. We had invited her to this punk rock flea market at St. Stephen's Church, which is right down the street from the library. And she was tabling with the library and with us, with the Friends group. So she came up with this beautiful poster that said, what could be more punk than the public library? And so, it showed everything like DIY learning, all access, free, ADA compliant, things that reflected the DC punk community. I grew up in the area, and so going to shows, a lot of the shows were benefits for different organizations in the area. They were also all ages, so there's never any discrimination. Anybody could listen to music. Right. They were also very affordable, usually $5, or if you brought a can of food. So I think that's how I also got involved. My roots were in punk, but also through being in the library.
And being a fan of punk music, did you play any instruments yourself growing up?
I did. I was in 2 touring bands, mainly in DC, but we got to tour the country. Like we played, California, Canada, Florida, all up and down the East Coast to Boston. And in that time, I saw like how different our scene was from other scenes.
Right.
And don't get me wrong, the scenes all over the country are amazing. But I noticed in DC, everyone was very community minded. People worried about others, maybe they didn't have enough food, maybe they didn't have shelter. This band Fugazi, who really inspired me because of their shows. They were always $5, they were all ages, and all the money would go to different organizations like LAYC, the Whitman Walker Clinic, I believe,
Right.
just a few of those things. But it was always so inspirational to see something like that. And that also got me motivated. Like, okay, how can I do beyond music? What else can I do for the community? Exactly. And getting involved with the Friends has been something, and as you know, like libraries are just more than libraries. They're a community center. Especially MLK. I remember before it was renovated, there were so many places that people could go that maybe run a house or maybe needed some help. And I always thought that was amazing, that there was a place in the city that you could go to and you didn't have to pay anything, that people could help you for free.
Exactly. Absolutely.
Yeah.
If only we can go back in time to where concerts were $5.
Right. That'd be great.
That would be amazing. Carlos, thank you so much for joining the show.
Welcome. It was a pleasure.
Absolutely. There you have it, folks. We're going to take you guys back to MLK. But before we do, check this out.
Dive into a world of endless possibilities at your neighborhood library. Find your adventure. Find your escape, where stories come to life. We are DC Public Library. Find your story.
Welcome back. We are here in the People's Archive at the Martin Luther King Jr. Memorial Library. We're joined today by Executive Director of the DC Public Library Foundation, Rob Hartman. Welcome, Rob.
Welcome, Rob.
Thank you.
Rob, this is a hard question. What does the foundation really do?
What do we really do? So our role is to raise money throughout the city to enhance, expand, and innovate library programming at all 25 branches and here at the MLK Library.
Oh, that's so cool. So I know you do a lot of work around literacy. Could you tell us about some of the programs you do around childhood literacy?
Sure. Nothing's more important than kids reading books. And one of our great programs is Beyond the Book, which has been going now for 3 years, where we provide a book every quarter free of charge to kids who are enrolled in the club, and then create author talks and other family activities in order to engage kids, because it's really all about engagement.
So the Know Your Power contest is one of the most popular programs here in DC. Can you talk about that?
Sure. This is a civic engagement program for teens to create art around spoken word, music, photography, visual art, and they center their work around subjects that matter to them. This includes the environment, race, sexuality, whatever it might be. And it's going absolutely wonderful. This year will be our largest participation to date, but there's still time to get your entries in. I believe August 9th is the deadline to make that happen.
So get it done.
So, you talk a little bit about teens creating art, but I know you also do a lot to bring art into the library. Can you talk a little bit about the arts and culture scene in DC and how you interact with them as the foundation?
Sure. We do a lot of work within this realm. We love to partner with our independent bookstores. Shout out to the independent bookstores. And we bring in various authors and artists and activists in order to let their voices be heard around subject matters that are of the moment today. Everything that we do in this foundation programming is through the lens of social justice. We're here to make sure that equity and diversity isn't just a buzzword, it's something that we live.
Oh, that's really interesting. So when you talk about equity and diversity in libraries, I feel like that must really tie into Banned Books Week somehow. So do you do anything for the library around Banned Books Week?
Oh, Banned Book Week is huge. Intellectual freedom is something that we cannot take for granted. Libraries are one of the last places in our society where you can come, enjoy an afternoon, and you don't have to pay anything. And you might be sitting here next to the CEO of a company, or you might be sitting next to somebody who's struggling in life. We're here to lift each other up, support each other, and make sure that we're lifelong learners.
And we're so incredibly grateful to be partners with the DC Public Library Foundation for everything you do for us here at DC Public Library.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you. And if anybody is inspired by what you were talking about today, how can people get involved with the work of the foundation?
Sure. The easiest way to do that is to either send me a note directly or go to www.dcplfoundation.org, and the information on the foundation and how to support us is there.
Oh, that's so great. Thank you so much, Rob. It's been a pleasure having you here today.
Thank you.
There are so many exciting things going on at libraries across DC. To learn more about how you can get the most out of your library card, we're heading over to the Francis A. Gregory Library, where Chanel is getting ready to chat all things books, movies, music, and more. We'll be right back.
I'm here at the beautiful Francis Gregory Library with April Jerome and Joshua Goodwin, 2 stars of the library's collections team. The collections team selects and makes available all of the amazing books, movies, and music that you guys check out with your library card. They are here to share some of the hottest trends of this year for the library across DC. Could you all tell us a little bit about what's happening in DC right now?
Thanks, Chanel. DC readers are all about the rom-com this summer. They want light reads that are easy to take to the beach or the mountains on their vacation. And the big hit is, of course, our perennial favorite, Emily Henry, with her new book, Funny Story. Another breakout is Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez. The fun thing about rom-coms is you can kind of change the place and kind of happenings in it. And one of the other big hits right now is Here We Go by Alison Cochrane. And it's like a on the road comedy and romance at the same time.
Nice.
And then everyone's always revisiting the Bridgerton series by Julia Quinn. And I think it's just because they're always reaching back to the series to watch as well, so they want to connect the books into series. Also, they've been reading a lot of books that are turned into movies and TV series. So Dune has always been coming back, and Shogun, a classic that people are reaching back for, and Ripley, based on the Talented Mr. Ripley series.
Oh, nice.
And then Lessons in Chemistry, another big hit from the past that people are coming back for because of that new TV series.
Oh, nice. Wonderful.
And that's interesting that you mentioned TV shows, because on Canopy, our film and movie streaming platform, people have been really enjoying our international series, such as Luther, but then also watching a lot of movies, more serious, Past Lives and The Whale. And in addition to streaming movies, they're also streaming music. So we have our customers are listening to Beyonce, they're listening to Vampire Weekend, they're just loving our music and movies.
Oh, wonderful. So speaking of streaming and our digital platforms, last year we beat the record of over 2 million digital downloads. Do you guys think that we're going to be beating that record again this year?
Definitely. Yeah. As of July 1, we're already 200,000 more checkouts than we were last year at this time. So I definitely think we're going to hit that record.
Wonderful. You all heard it here first, DC. We are going on track. We're on track to beat the record of 2 million digital downloads. How can people implement a better reading habit?
Yeah, summer is the perfect time for that. We're already rolling our Discover Summer program at DC Public Library. It's an all ages summer learning program. All you have to do is read 20 minutes a day for 20 days over the course of the summer.
Oh, how do people sign up for that? Because I love to read and so does my daughter. So how can we sign up for the program?
Sure, there's two ways. You can sign up online and use the Beanstack app to track your reading, or you can stop by a beautiful neighborhood library and pick up a game board and track your reading there.
So if there's a game board and tracking, are there any prizes that people can win if they sign up for the program and complete the challenge?
Yeah. Just if you sign up for the program, you can get 2 vouchers for a Washington Nationals game. And then if you complete the program and read 20 minutes a day for 20 days, you can get a limited edition clear tote that's great for games, concerts, and you also get 2 tickets to a DC United game.
Oh, that's so awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for coming to chat with me today. It was a pleasure to have you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Chanel.
Next, I'm excited to be chatting with someone who is bringing our collection to life as she grows an inclusive literary community through library programs. Lupita Aquino.
Hi, how are you?
I'm so good today. How are you today?
I'm good. Thank you so much for having me.
So you started an online community called Lupita Reads. Can you tell us a little bit more about what inspired you to start Lupita Reads?
Absolutely. I've always been a lifelong reader. And, I just wanted to look for other readers to connect with about the books I was reading. I was really excited about it. And I thought I could go online and find other readers to connect with.
Oh, that's amazing. So you've brought Lupita Reads into the physical space by partnering with the DC Public Library. It's called La Comunidad Reads. What inspired you to start La Comunidad Reads and partner with the library?
Yeah, I think it was similar to realizing that I wanted to seek out connection with other readers, and I wanted to bring that connection in person to continue to build a community around Latin books and Latin literature. Often I feel like Latin books and Latin literature aren't talked enough about. And so I wanted to say, how can we figure this out? How can we partner up and give a little spotlight to these books that absolutely need it and deserve it?
That's wonderful. What has your experience been like with La Comunidad Reads and the DC Public Library? Can you tell me a little bit more what the last year has been like?
Oh, the last year has been so wonderful. It's been transformative. It's been so truly powerful to get to work with DCPL and to bring in the, readers that are interested in wanting to read and amplify Latin literature and really just connect with each other. That has been the most powerful thing and wonderful thing to see.
Representation and community is so important, and it's such a pleasure to have you, of course. We want to know what's coming up for La Comunidad Reads.
Yeah, I'm so excited about this upcoming season. For the first time ever, we'll have a story time.
Oh,
yeah, there's a literary Latina legend who has written in the adult fiction space for a very long time, but she's debuting her picture book for the very first time. And so she'll be joining us, Angie Cruz. We have coming up. We also have Queer Modern Narratives panel coming up, and we also have a cultural impact panel in which we are going to talk about the impact that culture has made on us, obviously. And we also have a very wonderful, hilarious comedian joining us by the name of Ada Rodriguez, who has an HBO special. She'll be talking to us about how powerful humor or how humor and resilience go hand in hand.
These all sound like amazing programs, and we're looking forward to supporting them. How can people learn more about La Comunidad Reads and register for these programs?
Yeah, thank you. That's a wonderful question, and thank you for asking. They can go to the DC Public Library website and check out all the details and learn more and register to join us.
Thank you so much, Lupita. It was a pleasure speaking with you today.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
All right, back to you, Katie and Diego.
Welcome back. We're here with our Executive Director, Richard Reyes-Gavilan, to catch up before the big day. Welcome, Rich.
Bienvenido.
Thank you so much. Gracias. Great to be here. So excited.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate you taking a little time with us today. So this award has been something that you've been working toward for a big part of your career. So tell us a little bit about its significance for libraries and what does it mean to be one of this year's honorees?
Sure. So the National Medal I liken to a Lifetime Achievement Award or a Nobel Prize, where it's something that is awarded not just for a specific thing that you did, a specific event, a specific building project, but rather it embodies a whole host of initiatives and programs and services. And so when I think to everything that we've done at DC Public Library over the last 5 or 10 years, the amazing Martin Luther King Jr. Memorial Library, branch libraries all over the city, programs throughout COVID like the distribution of COVID tests, the exhibitions, on and on and on and on. The fact that we are recognized for that by a national team is something that is really near and dear to my heart, because this is something that I have wanted for this institution since I've been here. And it's a great sort of shot in the arm, recognizing the incredible work of all the staff and everyone who's participated in our work.
And as you're saying, this award is a testament to the wonderful, incredible things. I can go on with the adjectives of all the wonderful things that here at DC Public Library. What is coming up in the next few months that we can get excited about, or you can get excited about for people to come?
Absolutely. So, in addition to books, we've got great books and we've got great library stuff in the library. We also like to do things that are maybe outside of the library's sort of sweet spot. So you may know that we participate a lot in musical performances. We do a lot of really groundbreaking exhibitions. And of course, we do a lot of celebrating the great works of authors. So maybe I'll start with the authors. Next month is the 100th anniversary of James Baldwin, or 100th birthday of James Baldwin, the centenary of James Baldwin, the phenomenal civil rights LGBTQ icon. We are going to be celebrating his birthday throughout the month of August with programs. We'll be able to explore some of his books. And on his actual birthday, we will be doing musical performances and a lot to celebrate him, especially for people who may not be familiar with his work. And so we're really excited about that.
DC knows how to throw a party.
It absolutely does. And speaking of party and speaking of music, in September, the library is not only participating, but being a lead participant in Art All Night, which is an initiative that started with the city's Department of Small Business to help promote the work of local artists. And the library helps to close down the street in front of the MLK Library. We have bands that go on past midnight. Tens of thousands of people will flood the library, checking out our building, but just having fun, and then also exploring all the great things that are downtown.
I won't lie, the block party here at MLK last year was lit.
It was crazy.
Now, what else could I mark in my calendar coming up?
We've got a phenomenal exhibition coming in November. It is in partnership with the Smithsonian Institution. It's a traveling exhibition on the Negro Motorist Green Book. So if you come to the MLK Library, there will be artifacts, there will be information, there will be interactive exhibitions on the history of the evolution of the Negro Motorist Green Book. But this will also expand across the city, where we will be working with partner institutions that were Green Book sites themselves. So it's something that everyone is going to be able to participate in, not just downtown, but really around the city. And that's going to be a remarkable exhibition that is opening up in November.
That sounds incredible.
It's going to be.
Now, you have shared a lot of amazing things coming up. What can our viewers at home today do to make sure that they get updates and invites to all of these incredible things?
There are a number of things that people can do. I tell anyone who says, "Oh, I missed this thing. How come I didn't know?" The library has a phenomenal newsletter. It's distributed once a week. It's called Beyond Words. It's everything you want to know and nothing that you don't want to know. It's tight, it's well written, and it gives you all the highlights of all the great events taking place both in person in our neighborhood libraries as well as online. So Beyond Words is probably the first, second, and third thing I tell people to subscribe to. Then get a DC Public Library library card. Once you have a card, you're going to want to use it, and we'll promote it, and you'll be happy to know that's the most important piece of plastic in your wallet.
It's the best card to have.
It's the best card to have.
And Rich, don't forget about social media.
Social media, we're pretty good at that.
I mean, if you follow us, make sure you follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Threads, and X. I know you are an active user, so...
Despite my age, I am an active user. That's right. for better or worse.
Thank you so much again today, Rich. We really appreciate hearing what's happening next at the library. And once again, congratulations on this incredible achievement.
Thanks, Katie and Diego.
Felicitaciones.
Great.
Thank you, everyone, for tuning in today to celebrate the 2024 National Medal for Museum and Library Service. DC Public Library is honored to be among this year's esteemed medal winners. Congratulations to all our fellow libraries who are celebrating with us today. And thank you to the Institute of Museum and Library Services for this recognition.
And don't forget, you can stay up to date with what's happening here at the library by liking, subscribing, and
sharing on DC Public Library's YouTube channel.
And we look forward to seeing you here at DC Public Library, so visit us soon.
A big thank you to all our crew and everyone here at DC Public Library. And a very special thank you to you, our viewers. Your love for the library is why we're here today. We'll see you soon.
Hasta pronto.